We have this right in the UK, which is really, really important, and it's been there since 1670, and it's the right of juries to acquit a defendant based on their conscience. So regardless of what a judge thinks or what the government of the day thinks or what the media think, but on their conscience. And this right is really, it's the kind of puts the moral sense of ordinary people at the heart of our criminal justice system.
The blank banners at the moment, they're becoming a bit of a signifier for just how gagged defendants and protesters are becoming across this nation of ours, and indeed across the rest of the world as well. They're becoming a symbol of resistance in themselves.
In recent months, a retired social worker in her 60s held up a sign which was pertaining to that right of juries to acquit according to their conscience. And she was arrested by order of a judge and threatened with imprisonment. And 24 others since then have been threatened with the same thing for the same action. So we're here again, back in greater numbers, to defend that right of juries and the right to a fair trial.
To me, it isn't about any specific trial. It's about the wider context of what's happening in this country, in this legal system, and this real repression that we're seeing.
The courts are obviously deciding they don't like some of the verdicts that are being brought in by juries, and they're trying to use what powers they have to guide the jurors towards specific verdicts.
There are instances in the past where people would have been locked away for quite long periods of time because racist prosecutors pursued cases where no one had done anything wrong. If you're accused and they decide that there's a case, then the jury decides. This is essential for all of us. We need a working court system.
I was a member of the Shell 7 trial. The jury acquitted us on grounds of conscience there, despite the judge saying that we had no legal defence whatsoever, but the jury were able to hear our motivations around climate change and around what's coming for us. And we're in a situation now where the judge isn't even allowing defendants to do even that.
Juries have the right to have this information. They have the right to understand the context of what's going on, and the fact that they're not being told the full information, that they are not being told their rights, is terrifying, and it's not giving a fair trial, and it's silencing people, and it's a real sign of repression.
When we undertake a non-violent civil resistance action, we don't do it to escape justice. We do it to be taken as part of the justice system and explain our actions to a court. And if that court says that we're not allowed to do that, then that's a fundamental right that's being taken away.
If they prosecuted a firefighter under the laws that they're using at the moment, did you kick in the door or didn't you? Or yes, I did. That fireman would then be prosecuted and sent down. If you look at the context, there was someone screaming from the window. The house was on fire. Obviously, that's a justifiable act. And just by taking away the context, you move that person from being a hero you want to applaud to being then a villain that you want to lock up.
It's about a real attrition of democracy, a real silencing of people that impacts absolutely everyone.
Juries are being denied the information they need to give a considered verdict.
Obviously, we've got the clear examples in the climate movement of people not being able to mention the climate crisis, fuel poverty, and then we have Palestine Action, for example, where they're not allowed to refer to the atrocities that are, being carried out by Israel.
The greatest enemy of truth is the blind obedience to authority, and we're heading towards a very dark place in regards to that right now.